I'm looking up pinnipeds. I'm looking up their evolution. The walking whales. Okay? We're missing something like right in our faces. It's not that dolphins did not lose their legs and jump into the ocean. You know, we came from the ocean. And during that transitional state, the fish that walked on the land was the pinniped, the walrus. And that species evolved down the line. And variations of that animal that was on the land and in the water. You know? So, and you're even going to have tadpoles and amphibians because they're mimicking the same thing, but on a medium kind of scale. There's a micro scale. It all happens on the same thing keeps happening, but on smaller scales. And then you got normal scales, and you have larger scales. It just keeps happening. You know, the same thing keeps happening over and over. But the cetaceans, all the life on the Earth, there's no evolution of a whale. The whale is the evolution of everything. You know, no extinction event actually extincts anything. It just kills variations of what would have existed later on down the line. You see what I'm saying? So we're looking at it in a kind of backwards. And see, walruses always remind me of hippos too. And then you got elephant seals. Now, why would they coincide so well? Not to mention, hippopotamus is a mammal, but it's also an amphibian. It's an amphibious mammal, you know. So this is a transitional state here where there's no hair at all. You see what I'm saying? It's like they got some whiskers, you know, and the tusks are going to end up moving around the face. The tusk. Whales have tusks too, but they end up moving around the face, and it's eventually going to be on the nose, then it's going to be on the head. It's going to move all around the face. You see what I'm saying? So then you have evolution continuing down the line, and then you have these amphibious mammalian kind of animals, and they're still gray, you know. They're still bald. You know, there's no hair, really. And they keep changing, and then you're going to get elephants. They're still going to be gray also. And they're also going to start walking upright. And they're going to be amphibious too, semi. But, man, you know, elephants are a transitional, more land. And they're about half and half, really. And that it kind of makes sense. And that's one thing that's so special about the elephant. And that's where the evolution of the ears started becoming a lot different. Where instead, see how they're so small right here? When they're coming from the water and then coming to the land, they're going to have to develop for the land a lot more. You see what I'm saying? So it's a transitional state coming with the ears starting to evolve. And they're still gray. And these hippos still have tusk in their face. You know, there's still the teeth. So the ears start evolving. Now the nose is going to be an animal start to evolve too, you know. And the tusk move from the mouth to the side of the face here, while the nose can evolve. So then you're going to have a variation of rhinos eventually. You know, you're going to have the tusk moving from the side of the face now onto the nose. And the ears have evolved. You got nose evolve. You got your mouth. It's still all gray too. There's the relative in here somewhere. There's a connection. I'm just throwing the rhino in there because this is where the hair started to form, create the keratin. The megafauna. It's always about the megafauna. Just put it that way. Humans are actually megafauna. But we're the smartest megafauna. And we're also the smallest megafauna. So then you're going to have your variations of giraffes evolving. And now hair is going to evolve onto them. And they're going to be standing upright. They're going to have long necks and evolution of the giraffe. And antelope and stuff like that. The bovine. This is when the megafauna with hair actually comes to be. And then that's why the transitional state of the rhino being hair is so significant, because it goes from ivory to what is hair, and then the hair moves onto the skin and then becomes more of a bone, kind of like an antler. eventually. It becomes antlers. And then there's an antler with hair transition. See that they got antlers with hairs on them. And they're like little antlers with hair. You see what I'm saying? So there's a transitional state here with the giraffe and the megafauna and humans. Oh, just throwing this out here. There's even antelope. This is another relative in there in the evolutionary ladder. But they stand up. They can stand up. And this is where Pan and all that myth comes in. But they actually have a long nose, kind of like a snout would be for a stubby elephant, See, and you have the sloth-like figure, which is humanoid bilateral, basically, and they can walk on four legs like a bear, or a bear can also walk on its hind legs. So then you have variations of animals that literally can walk upright and on all fours, and they're mammalian. So they're even related to bears, and what I'm trying to figure out is if they have only one baby at a time, but it's always a cub. It says a litter of 5 cubs every 2 years. So I mean, how many do they have at once? Is it 2 babies at once, and then they get pregnant and they have another one, or do they have 1 or 2? Or I mean, that 2.5 is average. 2.5. What the hell is that? See what I'm saying? It makes no sense. There's something weird in our evolutionary thing when it comes to the. I mean, I know we're related to everything on the planet, but I think our evolution, the way we're looking at it, is out of whack.